Hey, it's your brother VANSILK, not in my house. We're going to have a little conversation today, hopefully, with my brother, Grandmaster Mele Mel. I hope I am on the right page. Because, hold on a second. I'm on the right page. How everybody doing today? The air conditioner went out, so now I'm going to sit over here and hope I'm going to be sweating. Down here in Florida, it's hot. Hot as hell. But yeah, definitely going to have a conversation, talk about Mel. Everybody's walking around celebrating the 50th anniversary of hip-hop. You know, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's called Not In My House with VANSILK. You know, hit the notification button. Also, we got MC Shan Chronicles. And we got the Hip Hop Guard YouTube channel. So what's up to everybody on an early Sunday? If I have to go and the air conditioner's out right now, if I have to go and cut the fan on, you're going to have to excuse me. But wait for Mele Mel to pop in here and we can have this conversation because he has a flight later on today to get ready to go to the airport. And you know what it's like in New York, trying to get to the airport. There's a lot of things going on regarding the 50th anniversary and blah, 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 blah. You know, y'all can go to the Universal Hip Hop Museum website, UHHM.org. And, you know, make sure you keep updated on everything that's going on. Now, I don't know where Mel is at, but as soon as he pop in, because make sure he follows and everything, you know, I don't know. There's so much going on right now these days. This boy is pathetic. You know, I guess the girl, L'Oreal, was talking to Michael B. Jordan. And I guess he came back with the line about when they went to school together in Newark that he was corny. And it's like, listen, let it go. I see Shade Room trying to make it seem like she did an interview in the podcast and didn't call him corny. Listen, he was talking about what happened back in school. Okay, sad when a woman just can't admit. Even men, own up. When you're wrong, own up. God damn, everybody think they right these days. Just own up when you fuck up, man. I don't know where Mele Mel is at, man. It's 101. He called me 4 minutes ago and say, yo, so now where he at? So, my man Irvin, happy 60th birthday last night. Irvin had his birthday party out in Brooklyn last night. That was another feather in his cap. Now get back to work, boy. Here go Mele Mel right here. And we gonna get this again. And we can get this popping, you know. And as we sit up here and talk, what up, brother?
I can't call it. What's good, man?
Yo, this is man VANSILK right now. I guess say VANSILK talking to Muscle Simmons.
Look at the forearms. Look at the forearms.
Happy 50th anniversary hip hop, brother. August 11th.
Yeah, absolutely. I know a lot of people do know, but most people don't know. Me and Van we go way, way back. You know, A1. This is A1 hip hop we talking right here. This ain't just the run of the mill. You know what I mean, brothers? You know, yeah, I've been rapping for 20 years. All right, good.
Well, you know what? I appreciate that. I appreciate the public service announcement that we did, and we went to speak to a lot of kids in school, which won us an Emmy. You know, I wasn't a rapper, but you wrote the rhymes. Right. I appreciate the Police Academy. You say, man, just say this line here because you're not an MC. But at the end of the day, that's just something I wanted to do, and I appreciate doing it with you, brother, back in the 80s and all the stuff that we did.
Right.
You know?
Right. For those who don't know, me and Ben that did this iconic anti-crack commercial. They ran it on NBC in New York. Won us a regional Emmy. And this is just had to be like 30 years ago, right? Went
It
to all
was
the
on
schools on
85.
our own.
On
We went to
85.
all the schools, talked to the kids on our own, spent our own money to talk to the kids about anti-drugs. You know, we was in the trenches with it, you know, so a lot of people, they try to get into the educational thing, and I still got a school program to this day, Windows of Hip Hop. Shout out to Melissa LeBron and Paul LaSalle and Nicole Perino. But we've been, we public servants. We for our people, we for the people.
Now the people you just named, that's part of Windows of Hip Hop, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you want to tell people about the Windows of Hip Hop?
Yeah, the Windows. See, what we trying to do is we trying to use hip hop as a teaching tool within the music. And what we did was we partnered up with PS 55 with a great Principal Torres, and I mean he put his back to the mat hard for them kids, and we had raised the money to put the studio in his school, so that's going to be our first school, and we're going to use that as a blueprint to do it in other schools to bring music, because in our public schools right now they don't have actual music courses. So we're going to try to bring not only the music, but the behind the scenes of music, editing, business management, choreography. We're going to have the whole setup, but within the school, and as many people that want to help. And hopefully we can get the same kind of attention that they gave the museum. And because at the end of the day, you can get excited about certain things, and obviously I guess there is a place for the museum, but at the same token, our kids don't read right, and they ain't getting taught right, and that's my whole thing, and that's my gripe that I got with anybody involved. Everybody throwing around all this money. It's all this money going around. Everybody look good. Everybody got on the nicest clothes, but our kids can't read. Our kids can't tell time. Our kids can't sign their name. So that's the importance of Windows of Hip Hop. We want to try to get into school and encourage the kids to be invigorated and to make an investment in their education. And that's what it all boils down to.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't understand the educational part when it comes to hip hop. That it's about the music, and in the beginning of hip hop was all about educating the people.
Right.
Even from the message into the song that you've written and performed, and the social consciousness stuff that people's done, it was always about education until they grabbed hold of everything and switched it up.
Right. I mean, and even before that, we taught ourselves how to have a good time. The beginning, the true beginnings of hip hop, there was nothing out there, and DJs came with their equipment, and we was b-boys, and we was going to parties, going into other people's areas. We walked from where we came from in the South Bronx to the 9, to all the different projects, McKinley, just partying. Teaching people what a party was like, teaching people what a show was about. You know what I mean? And compared to now, these kids ain't partying. You go to a party, you don't see dudes dancing with girls. You see dudes eyeballing each other, and the girls is dancing around with each other.
And everybody got their phone in their hand, standing around.
Yeah,
it's over phone party.
Yeah, so I mean getting back to the true roots of hip hop, and that's why the 50th anniversary is so important, is that young people got to understand life is something to have a good time with. You could be on social media, which I don't do a lot of social media. I'm gonna start doing it now more than what I would usually do. But you could be on social media and you could you could post Instagram, TikTok, whatever. But the part that you're missing is that you gotta enjoy your life. You know what I mean? And you could be 20 years old listening to me right now thinking you're gonna live forever. You're not gonna. Even if you live to 100, you only got, if you 20 right now, even if you live to 100, you only got 80 years left. That's gonna pass by quick as hell. It ain't like you got forever. You know what I mean? And see, and that was our thing, and that's my thing mostly right now, because you know, anybody that know Mele Mel, I'm the original hater nigga. I'm not with it. I'm not with nobody. I'm not with it. I'm not with you. I'm not about all that. You got to show me first. All the guys that I respect in hip hop, they proved not to me, but they proved themselves in the game. So with that thought in mind, as I get older, I'm 61 years old. My thing is, I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time liking or disliking nobody. I'm gonna enjoy my life. Whatever life I got left. If I'm 80 right now, even if I live to 100, I'm going back to the same. If I live to 100, I only got 40 years. I only got 40 years left. I'd be 100, and that's on a scale of 1 to 10. That's 10.
You know, so crazy.
What if I live to 70? I only got 10 years left. I gotta enjoy my life. I ain't got time, you know, to have an opinion about nothing. I ain't got time to be hating on nobody. I ain't got time to like or dislike. Mele Mel enjoy his life. I'm a party dude. I'm the original party dude. I party every day. I was partying last night. I mean, I'm having a good time.
Well, who would have ever thought that we sitting up here figuring about how much more time we might have left? I'll be 65 this year. Right. You know what I'm saying? We didn't think like that 20 years ago. Like now we're sitting up here like, damn, if I want to get to see 85, you know?
Right. But you know what? That's a conversation that everybody should have with themselves, and then they would stop, you know, because a lot of people waste a lot of time. They you know, especially young people. You know, people can say what they want to say about young people. You're young equals dumb. You don't know the things that you're supposed to know for you to be doing the things that you're doing. How many people have lost their life? How many young people have lost their life? And it's just a simple thing. Your parents is telling you, don't be around so-and-so. Your friends is telling you, don't be around. But you young, you think you know everything. You got all the answers. And then in not too distant future from you thinking you know everything, it costs you your life. You know what I mean? Now we went through those same kind of things, but it's just that when we was younger, it was easier for us to get a pass. It wasn't like how it is now. Like everybody, you got to be in on it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, everybody's in on the snitches, get stitches. You know, you ain't had to be with all that. You know what I mean? We got a pass, but now, and the thing is this, for all the young people that's listening, it ain't like you got a lot of time to figure your situation out. We had, you know, maybe months, maybe a year or two. Right now, you might have about 8 days messing around with whoever you messing with to figure your thing out, or you know, to make the choice of, well, I might need to chill and just go, you know, knuckle down and get something done for the future, or you know, or something in that nature. You don't got time to get your thing together right now because you're dealing with people either they don't know or they don't care. So that's who the average young person is dealing with. It ain't like they know. It ain't like the average young person is thinking about, well, what am I going to do when I get grandkids? They ain't thinking that far. I talk, and every time I talk to you, Van, you always say something about your grandkids, right or wrong?
Because I'm around them every day.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like a lot of kids don't get to know their grandparents these days. You know, they don't know their family members, but they sure enough know everybody knows reality show business, and they don't even know their own family business.
There you go. There you go. And that's and that's the thing. You know, like I said, I'm old school, and I ain't mad at being old school because, you know, back in the day they had rules, they had regulations, they had morals, they had a code, they had a line that you couldn't cross. You know what I mean? They had things that you just supposed to do, even if you're doing wrong. It was a right way to even do the wrong thing, and that's why a lot of us are still alive, because even even though we did wrong, it was a limit to how far we would put ourselves out there, even being wrong. So
and that's just the way it is.
Absolutely.
You know. This is not my house, it's VANSILK. I'm talking to Mele Mel right now. We're going to touch on 3 quick subjects because Mel have to catch a flight today. One of them is going to be about our brother who's no longer here. You just finished up he was finishing up a project before he passed called Rolling Deep 200, and you worked with him plenty of times, DJ K Slade. Your thought on him and his contribution to the culture of hip hop? And you did a great speech at his service at the Apollo. You definitely got everybody up.
No, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, he's definitely, you know, one of the day one brothers, you know, from his early graffiti days to when he started DJing, you know, to when he made his mark, you know, being the drama king and being on the radio. I mean, and he always, as far as me personally, he always did right by me. I mean, of course, you know, he had a million things to do and a million people that he was rocking out with, but he always had respect for well, number one, for the culture, and number two, he always showed me love. So every time he came, you know, with the project, even with the 50 deep and with the 100 deep, you know, I always tried to show up, you know, in rare Mele Mel form, you know what I mean? Because like the circle that we run in is not necessarily a big circle. Everybody came up with each other. Everybody knew each other. We was basically kids, you know, teenagers, you know, 18, 19, 17, 16. So you know, guys that you go that far back with, it's almost like you be better than family, because we done everything that we done went through, we done came up, we done seen everybody else came up, we done seen everybody else fall off. So, you know, when K Slade be coming with them projects, you know, it's an honor for me to just to get in there, just to show all the other MCs, like, listen, this is still something we do. This is what we do, and that's what, you know. I know, you know, a lot of dudes probably bending K ear. Yo, man, why you fucking with that old nigga? You know what I mean? Because number one is respect. Number two, I can still get it done, and number three, I'm supposed to be there to represent. So
and
that's
number
why
four, and he always say you was his number one MC. Like, a lot of people don't understand when that is K Slade standing on the train station with one arm case when he was like 15 years old, singing the message.
Right.
On the train station, which is in Star Wars. A lot of people don't know that's K Slade. That's Desi Des.
Right.
So, you know, it'll be a year on Easter, but we getting the project done for Easter to drop. Talk to Jared, and he definitely will be missed, but the legacy will definitely live on.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, and absolutely, and we got to keep, you know, because hip hop, I mean, it's organic. It's not like, you know, and a lot of today's hip hop is man made, and in my opinion, it's barely hip hop. It's hip hop because the main premise about hip hop is anything that you want to be hip hop, you can make it hip hop. So I'm not going to deny nobody. Okay, yeah, you know. Okay, that's your hip hop. But I mean, as far as the true culture of hip hop and the premise of hip hop and what the original meaning of hip hop is barely hip hop. So with projects like the Rolling 200 Deep and you know, and the memory of K Slade, you know, we supposed to keep that so that other people could see and learn for themselves what hip hop is. I mean, you could see from the Grammy Award show, the whole thing was just based on those 14 or 16 groups or whatever it is. It's just based on them coming out there, but especially with the classic hip hop groups, it was all fun and having a good time. Even backstage, that was one of the best times of my life, going to the practices, seeing everybody, and, you know, just going through the motions and everybody talking and everybody showing each other respect, you know, take a picture with Jadakiss and the rest of the Locks. You know what I mean? It meant something because, you know, your position in hip hop, it always changes, but the respect of it, if you have respect in hip hop, it stays the same. So you get a certain amount of respect from these people, and it's an honor to be respected by your peers at this stage of the game, and to be up there and to represent on that same level.
And I was watching the video footage, and I seen you and Jay-Z hugging. I seen The Rock, you know,
Yeah.
Method Man,
Yeah.
you know, Run, you
Yeah.
know, and yo,
And what it's all about is love and respect. 'Cause see, we all men. So now, in the course of being a man, people gonna have disagreements. That ain't, you know, but
right.
but as men, you know, it's all gonna boil down to how you handle it with respect. See, that's what's not going on right now. It's all this extra lip action online, and a situation never gets resolved. Look, I don't mind having an argument with I don't even mind having a fight, but it got to be resolved. Everything ain't a situation where, you know, oh yeah, F this, or so and so that. Everything ain't that situation. You know what I mean? So just like even out of that whole night, and everybody that we interacted with, we had a beautiful time or whatever. But for some reason, when we went and spoke to Hove, that was almost like a highlight reel. Like everybody pulled out their cameras, and, you know, even to this day, like, you know, people just like, I seen when you was talking to Hov, what did he say to you? Like, it's like the interest, and it ain't like we got it ain't like, you know, we both from Brooklyn, or, you know, it ain't like we got interest, you know, but it's just, I guess, just seeing him, you know, being the king of hip hop now, and then, you know, one of the OGs, the classic hip hop brothers. I guess it just drawed up a certain amount of interest, where that was like one of the high points of being at the Grammys. Like, when the Furious Five hollered at Jay-Z, and whatever conversation we had or whatever, that was like the high point of the whole thing, which, you know, and it's all love. I mean, it's all love in the game.
And this ain't your first rodeo at the Grammys, because you performed with Chaka Khan on I Feel For You at the Grammys.
That's
back in 84.
1984. Yeah, that's what's that? That's 39 years. 39 years ago. Yeah. The record of the year, the Grammys record of the year, the American Music Award record of the year. Big shout out to Shaka Khan. Oh yeah.
Now, the great go on tour. You and Scorpio, Sugar Hill Gang, and Curtis Blow.
Right.
50, the Legends Tour, the first generation tour. I think it's about 50 cities lined up already.
Yeah, that's gonna be big. We're gonna go worldwide with that as well. You know what I mean? Just to cause see, the main thing about the 50th anniversary is this. Once this year is over, we
back to business.
No, our thing, we gotta be established.
Right.
So that I'm not asking nobody, you know, well, you know, could we do something as far as with the classic MCs? I'm not asking nobody for that. I should be able, if everything go right, I should be able to do whatever I want to do on whatever level. I'm not asking the museum. I'm not, you know, I don't gotta ask LL. I ain't gotta ask nobody. We should already be established, because just like how you said, if we're not established, just like how you said, it's business as usual. You go at, yeah, well, you know, well, we did something for the 50th, so I don't know. No, you don't gotta know. We know, because the 50th anniversary, which a lot of people don't grasp the concept, that 50th anniversary date, that's actually Herc's anniversary. That's his 50th anniversary. It's not everybody's 50th. It would be my 40 for 73. You know, we came around in about 77. It would be my 46th anniversary.
But here's something else that I wanted to bring up to you real quick. When I did Rap Mania, that everybody was on, which was the 15th anniversary, the year was 75 to 90.
Right. Right.
And I talked to her, and I talked to man, like, yo, I felt 75, you know, we can use that, and they agree. So is it 50 or 48? I'm like, what is it?
it fluctuates. If you were there as BAM, it's a different number. But for those who don't know, that number is Hertz number.
Yep.
That number is the party from 1520. That's 50 years ago. Everybody else that started after that is not is the 50th anniversary of hip hop officially, but the reality is that's Hertz. And big shout out to Kool Herc, the father of hip hop. That's actually his anniversary. So, but the point being made, and the thing that I'm just trying to reinforce in my head is that our business got to be handled and done by the end of this year. We shouldn't need nobody like that. We ain't supposed to need nobody now, but it's just that everybody take the game and then they run with it, and then we be in the outside looking in, and then they be like, well, maybe y'all should have known. Maybe you should be a little less fucking selfish about something that you really don't got nothing to do with. If we already proved what it was going to be day one, we already proved that. It was already proven that you could sell records and rap music. It's already proven that you could be a star using hip hop. For everybody that make money in hip hop right now, for even all the bloggers, all the podcasters, the one thing everybody that made music, everybody that did business, that put up the big numbers, that made millions, the one thing that made you who you are was dudes like us. Now, whether you wanna say that you owe or you don't owe, I would care less, because I could go take what I want. You still made it through hip hop. Don't act like you were so smart or so creative or so talented. You made it through a culture that was already set up for you. You had nothing else to do except for just step in one spot and say this is who you are, and then put the people around you to build it up. That's all these guys had to do. They didn't have to do nothing else. They really didn't have to break a sweat or nothing. You see what I'm saying? The game was already made. So at the end of the day, we should have the same opportunity to do whatever it is that these guys do here. I mean, I could make a bullshit song, I could make when I see this nigga, I'ma slap the shit out of him. I could make that song. You know what I mean? That's nothing new. You know what I mean? I don't like this nigga. I could make that song. That's nothing new. But they could do it. But then when it comes time for us to do a song, and that's the one thing that I don't like about what's going on today. None of the cats from our era, or none of the people from our era, believe that the music part of it is important. Like, I talk to people about doing songs, they be like, yeah, well, the music is just basically for content. But I done been on some of the biggest songs. You just got to write the right song.
Well, the sad part about it is radio control everything. So why is it that, I mean, Nas just did a performance at Madison Square Garden. He got a new album. Okay, that's one entity, that's Nas. But Method Man, Redman, the LLs, I mean, why do our generation get knocked as being old, where you still got Rolling Stones could do an album whenever they want to, but in '85, when you was probably about 26 years old, they said that you was an old school.
Right. Yeah, and that's just their way of trying to sit somebody down that should be standing up. Now look, anybody can say whatever they want as far as with the performance or how it went, for the 50th anniversary of the Grammys. But I know when Mele Mel came out there and threw them guns up at the end, that was just as impressive as anything that went on in that whole night in the Grammys. And I'm 61 years old, but I be in the gym all the time. So now, just as far as just my image and my look, don't none of these dudes look no better than me. And I make sure that they don't got my stage presence. They can't do it like because that's not their forte. They just want to be young. They just want to be, they want to be hot. You know what I mean? They want to be current. They want to be relevant. Mele Mel is relevant because I work on, I'm the most improved guy. even to this day, I'm still the most improved. You know what I mean? And like I said, you could be whatever you want to be, but when you stand next to Mele Mel, you gonna have to stand upright, because I'm gonna be upright.
And the great thing about this, whenever things like this do happen, you and your group they cannot not include you, because you're the blueprint.
Right. And big shout out to the Roots and
Questlove.
Yeah, Questlove. Because when they put it together, like if I would have put it together, I wouldn't have thought about doing flashy to the beat. I wouldn't have thought about the beatbox. You know, these are Philly dudes, and they looked at it from, you know, ground level. You know what I'm saying? Like, they looked at it from like, okay, we going, you know, Quest, like we gonna go day one. Like, this is, you know, the beatbox, Flash, and the Furious Five. I ain't mad. I mean, I would, you know, either way, I knew it was going to be all right, but I didn't think it was going to come across the way it came across. That was definitely a good look for hip hop all around. And maybe if people follow that same blueprint, you know, the game could expand so that it could be a lot more than just young dudes talking about what it is to be young, or, you know, what it is to be around now. You know, it'd be a different topic of conversation, where you could expand what's going on, and, you know, give these younger brothers, you know, some life experiences and some jewels, so that they can have something to pass down to their younger kids, to their youngers, instead of just with all this violence and just being weird and anti people.
Yeah. And I mean, people was complaining, and listen, it is what it is. Because this is my take on it. We had 50 years to come up with our own award show. I mean, you had the Source Award, but then that was just like it became some nigga shit, you know?
Right.
But we had all these years, and the gatekeepers didn't provide the outlet. And I'm the only person individually that ever brought hip hop to TV in a mass way.
Right.
Otherwise than that, nobody has done nothing, because once you take their money, they control what you do. But we could have been controlled this, not us, but those who had those big deals that had money. We could have had our own award show without worrying about the Grammys or BET or any of this stuff. But we did.
No, you're right. Hey, look, at the end of the day, just like you said, when these young guys get all these money and they got all them opportunities, how hard is it to come ask one of the elders, what is it that you think we should be doing to expand everything? You know what I mean? Everybody, like, as far as with young people, y'all ain't got the kind of respect for each other to build a foundation to where we all could benefit, but we do. So if you came with the right plan, you see what I'm saying? Because we can't come to them with a plan. They ain't going to understand it like that. But if you came with the right plan and somebody had the right amount of intellect, you know what I mean, to put something together to benefit all of us, you know, from the top down, not the bottom up. Like, not like, okay, yeah, well, we gonna have something, you know, for the young people. I'm talking about we're gonna have something for hip hop that we could pass down to when young people got the right mentality. Okay, now we got a place to go to, because throughout hip hop, it's always been the younger person. Everything that you put up, they tear down. All of it is no big hip hop club, and it's not because of me. If you got a hip hop club and if it's the right kind of crowd, I'm gonna come and try to rock out. But to this day, there's no hip hop clubs, and it's one reason why is the young dude. They gonna come with their bullshit and they gonna tear it up. They've been doing it, you know, since the quarters. Look how good the quarters was. Look what happened to it. They had a joint in L.A. The Paradise, great club. Look how good the club was. Look what happened to it. Some young dudes came and shot the club up. So I mean, if one of these young guys that got the money to throw away, the money that these dudes throw away at the strip club, if you gave me half of that money, I could put a situation together so that when you get into the and I'm not even going to say into the tail end of your career, when you get into the apex of your career, it'll be something right there for whereas we all getting money and we could rock out. We could be getting money the whole time. We could be getting, you know what I mean? But
because the conversation don't make no sense. Oh, well, you know, the old school should learn how to manage their money. First of all, that's like telling Walt Frazier and Earl Monroe, who was getting paid $450,000 back in '75, to a player sitting on the bench got a $4 million contract that don't even play. The money ain't the same.
Right,
the money is different.
That's a joke. I dismiss all of those conversations. I dismiss the conversation where they saying that it was up to us to talk to young people. I'm your grandfather's age. They wasn't going to live. We couldn't have had a good conversation with running them back then when they was hot. That ain't how it worked. That ain't how it worked. If anything, if anybody at any point in the game, if they really cared about their hip hop, or if they cared about hip hop culture, they would come have a conversation with me. Any of these dudes. You don't think I know? You see what I'm saying, man? You don't think that you know? They don't think I know. They don't. When somebody put together a record label, you don't think that you could get a Mele Mel to help keep your artists in line and to keep them sharp and talented, you know, to teach them how to do interviews, you know, teach them how to, you know, how to have social skills when you get around people, signing autographs, taking pictures, you know, stage presence, you know, teach them how to manage their studio time. You don't think that we would know that? You know, of course we would know that.
You know what's so sad? And I brought this up years ago. And I'm talking about from the inner circle of the first generation. Nobody had a job at a record label but me. I worked at RCA, went to job, and me and you, we was all at Spring Records, but they never gave nobody a job.
Right.
To help at a label.
I'm
talking about from the inside of the circle.
No, absolutely. Because they act like we don't know what we taught y'all. Damn, they act like we don't know what we taught them. All those record companies that you know, that came and went. If they would have just added a little bit of a knot instead of hiring a street dude, see that's where everything went left. When it all boiled down to, you know, we want to keep everything street. Street dudes don't know nothing except for the streets. Nothing comes out of that, and that's why hip hop is so street right now. I mean, and I would bring up would love to have the conversation is, could you be too street? And my take on it is, yes, you can. Everything right now is too street. It's easy for somebody to walk out there, just like how Monique said, with the bonnets and the slippers. You could do that if you want to, but that's not the proper thing to do everywhere. If you had to run down to the store and get your kids some eggs and milk, okay, that's one thing. But you ain't supposed to be up in the mall like that.
In the airport.
I'm saying you ain't supposed to do that. But you do that because you think that being street is so cool. That is your personal. That's something that you're supposed to do personally. I'm not supposed to know you like that. But you know, the way hip hop goes is the way society goes, and that's why it is the way it is right now. Is you know, everybody think that it's cool to be hood like that, and it's not. That's how you are personally. That's not the face that you're supposed to show society. You're supposed to have something better to show society. And that's where your stock go up. That's where your money go up. That's different between trying to build wealth and trying to get a bag. See, y'all hood. Y'all trying to get a bag. Ain't nothing in that bag. How much money's in a bag? How big is the bag?
Exactly.
Even if it's a big bag, it ain't.
It don't mean it's full.
You know what I'm saying? That's what being too street would get you. That's what it gets you. That mentality. That's what it gets you.
Well, like I said, this is not my house with VANSILK Mele Mel. Before we get ready to let Mele Mel go, he got his own podcast he's getting ready to do right now. And I asked him, what is he going to do? It's like, so now I want him to explain to y'all.
I'm gonna just do what I'm doing right now. I don't think we're gonna be too big on the guests like that. We're just gonna come out and talk about, you know, the current state of hip hop and, you know, maybe a little politics. Just doing what Mele Mel do. You know, I think I got a different outlook because I've been around longer. You know what I mean? I got a different gift to gab. And, you know, we'll get to the point where we would have guests. But if anything, I'm the guest. You gonna see how the first great rapper. I was the first greatest one. MC. You're right. The first great MC. You're gonna see how I do. You're gonna see it. You're gonna hear it from my perspective. Because everybody, you know, everybody have their own perspective. Everybody done wrote a page in the hip hop Bible. You're gonna see my page in the hip hop Bible, and we're gonna win with it. You know, we're gonna win with it. We're gonna have a good time.
Well, you know, I'm gonna support you on your podcast. You know, this also going to be, you know, at my support team with Hip Hop Guards and Rap Station 365. And what I'm doing right here, you know, to help keep our generation. I always say the first 25 years is the most important part of hip hop, 73 to 98. Anything after that is just a takeoff from what we did, because most people that was born after 98 is what we listening to today. They're in their 20s.
Right. And one thing I do want to touch on, that I had it in my train of thought, but I slipped it because you know, is the importance that the DJs played, and even that they still could play into making real hip hop, bringing it back to the forefront. Because and especially the New York DJs, like if anybody slipped, the New York DJs slipped. Because they went and played all that dirty South shit and all that drill shit, but they don't get them drill DJs and them dirty South DJs. They didn't get them to play our stuff.
Exactly.
And that's why you gotta like shine a light on it. That should be a big national hit.
Yeah, it should.
Basically a regional hit. Or Boogie Black, he should be a worldwide. He should be a worldwide star. But you know, even Chicken Noodle Soup. What's my man in them name? Those should have been big records. But they didn't. The New York DJ didn't make them other DJs who still worship them. Didn't make them play our stuff.
Because
but
that Will Tax record, that birthday record, do get played, but it's not as big. It should have been like Lottie the Show, like Boogie Black. I'm drinking on the Henny. Everybody drink Henny. That should be a national anthem. It should
have been a big record. But the New York DJ, like I said, don't make these dudes play their music, but we play their music. They don't make them play our music, and they supposed to. They supposed to. If an East Coast artist make a record, when you give it to one of them DJs, chances are they ain't gonna play it. Or if they do play it, they'll play the drill music or some Southern music quicker than they would play New York music. And that's not the way it's supposed to be. You supposed to you just like how they represent we represent ours. But and if they would have did that, I guarantee you gangs might have made it back to New York, but it wouldn't have been as bad as it is now. They would still be trying to find a spot in New York. You got Hoover Crips in the goddamn Bronx. Because the influence, you know, they I don't want to use the word, but they dick rode. They dick riders. They played everybody. They rode everybody else's tip, but they didn't impress upon them to we gonna play your stuff, you gonna play our stuff. So everything is all in circulation.
Right.
Yeah. So that was one point that I definitely wanted to make.
Well, I don't want to hold you up. I know you got to get ready and you in New York to get to that airport. And I want to thank you for being on here. And I want everybody else to check this out later on YouTube. And it'll be up this week on Hip Hop Guards and Rap Station 365 Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursday. I'd like to thank my brother Grandmaster Mele Mel for this in-depth interview.
With the forearms.
With the forearms, Muscle Simmons.
Oh, man, all right, man. I love you, boy.
Have a safe flight.
Thank you, my brother.
All right, peace, everybody.
One.
One.